Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Here's a headline from the Crypto Basic. XRP to new highs, how Ripple's tokenization strategy could fuel growth. Now, this article is covering perspective from Austin King, and I've shared some of his commentary on social media over the last week, including a separate video on a different topic literally yesterday. He keeps dropping some straight up bangers on the Webernets here. And he's worth listening to because, well, there are a number of reasons. He's a brilliant guy, went to Harvard, former Ripple employee, and his first company was bought by Ripple. He knows a thing or two. And so if you are a person who thinks that XRP makes sense, and it's something that should and will be adopted long haul, big picture, something's going to be here decades from now, you're not the only one that thinks that. Lots of very brilliant people do who have actual careers in this stuff. And this is one such example. Austin King, he knows what the hell he's talking about. I'm looking forward to sharing this with you. And legacy finance coming around too. They know it. Look at this. Look at this headline from Watcher Guru. JPMorgan says XRP can attract $8 billion in inflows. Can it target $8? And so even JPMorgan is acknowledging XRP makes sense and billions and billions and billions of dollars are likely to flow into it. Specifically, and here you'll see they're specifically talking about this being a result of expanding reach outside of people who are like you and I, traditionally in the world of crypto, and getting out into people who invest in the world of legacy finance. But before going further, I do want to be clear. I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. There are so many people back in the day that were so laser focused on this one use case for XRP. Specifically, XRP being used as a bridge currency. Now, that's a great use case. And there obviously has been, unquestionably, there is success there. And as long as there's, I've said this is true for many years now, as long as there's at least one use case for any cryptocurrency, if it takes hold, then your coin's not going to cease to exist. Now, you can have a rational debate about, what's the opportunity for money being enticed to flow into an ecosystem, depending on what particular use case you're talking about. But even if there's just one freaking use case, and there very clearly was that they're even just as a bridge currency, well, then it's not going to cease to exist. You can at least have that much confidence and optimism. That makes logical sense here. But XRP can do so much more. And in fact, it's so funny to me, like some of the stuff that we were talking about, in addition to XRP being used as a bridge currency, would result in what would be the future. And I guess we're kind of there now, but talking about how you can tokenize all sorts of stuff on the XRP ledger and that it would ultimately happen, including stocks, T-bills, all sorts of stuff like that. And it's actually happening right now. And so this is the topic that Austin King is talking about right here. The reason this matters for you as an XRP holder is that for this to continue happening, XRP is literally required for the creation of any asset that's tokenized on the XRP ledger, and for literally every single transaction that takes place on the XRP ledger. XRP is literally required effectively as a gas token at that point, and it's a privileged position. And so if you keep seeing this type of real-world adoption, which the XRP ledger is so perfectly suited for, well, XRP is not only is it not going to go away, it's going to keep, the more you see adoption like this, the more money is going to flow into the ecosystem. Duh. This is one of the most obvious plays in crypto history so far as I'm concerned. Anyway, so piece reads as follows. A leading figure in the crypto space has outlined how the tokenization strategy from Ripple could push XRP to a new all-time high. In a detailed post on X, Austin King, founder of Omni Network, discussed how the XRP ledger can capitalize on real-world asset tokenization to drive long-term growth. Recall that Ripple CTO David Schwartz suggested in 2023 that the firm was pivoting to real-world asset tokenization, highlighting their desire to expand into the industry. And folks, isn't it kind of funny that that's the hot narrative in 2024 and even in 2025? That's one of the narratives, the real-world asset narratives, or RWAs for short, that has really gained some traction here. And that's something that the XRP ledger has, for its entire existence, been perfectly suited for, and it's getting attraction. It absolutely actually is. It's just one more thing that's fantastic, and it's happening during a freaking bull market. You'll love to see it. Anyway, piece continues. Notably, Ripple acquired custody and tokenization for Medico in May 2023 to pursue this vision. Interestingly, King's recent disclosure suggests that combining Ripple's institutional partners with blockchain-driven liquidity expansion could bolster XRP's utility and demand, pushing it to a new all-time high. Now, you'll see here as we get into this sentence right here that I've highlighted is particularly interesting. And it is, again, where they're highlighting that Ripple acquired custody and tokenization for Medico in May 2023. That is of material importance. So check this out. You'll see why. Check this out. So here's the actual thread from Austin King from the other day. And he wrote, tokenization is the multi-trillion-dollar opportunity key to pushing XRP to a new all-time high. Now, let me just pause right there to state, maybe it's getting too nitpicky, but I don't really think so. I think XRP hits a new all-time high this market cycle regardless. And so, yes, we already saw a new all-time high for XRP the first time in 7 years on January 16th. Great. I believe another one's coming in price discovery, and I think that's going to happen outside of this. The reason I'm excited for this, though, specifically, is because it is one of those things that will help to ensure the long-term viability of XRP. And, it's another narrative that's out there. It's fine. So that is good. I'm happy to see this happening during a bull run and the real world asset narrative. Cool. I'm only saying that I personally believe XRP enters price discovery and melts faces regardless, even if this weren't the hot narrative for the cycle. And there are tons of reasons for that. But anyway, he continues here. He says, however, most people are missing the bigger picture of how this will happen. Here is the two-part strategy we are pursuing at Omni to synergize with Ripple and achieve this. The third largest crypto network in the entire industry is XRP Ledger. It should be one of the most used assets across all of decentralized finance, but it's not. Why is that? And by the way, he's not saying that it's not one of the most used assets. He's saying specifically as it pertains to this aspect of decentralized finance. Now, this is my personal opinion here. Like, we're still early days on this stuff. In particular, just the real world asset thing, tokenizing, and you are seeing other chains get traction too. There's all sorts of stuff being tokenized on HBAR, and so it's never going to be one coin to rule them all, one chain for this specific use case. But XRP can become one of the major winners for this use case, and it absolutely seems like it's on track to do so, because it just makes sense. And if you want to tokenize stuff on a chain, why wouldn't you consider XRP Ledger, which settles in real time, has transactions so cheap they might as well be free, and it has something that you can't program into it, which is a track record. It's been live with the public for 12 years now. It just freaking works. That has to be attractive to any firm that wants to build and tokenize stuff, the real world asset. Yes, absolutely. And that's something you can't program into it. It's just been here, right? And it's got this actual user base and all this actual adoption. Anyway, Austin continues. Ripple has driven adoption of XRP in traditional finance with banks. However, there has never been a counterpart focused on driving the growth of XRP Ledger and its assets across the multi-chain economy. The work that we are doing at Omni is going to change all of this. Already, we have expanded RLUSD, it's Ripple stablecoin, of course, to over $38 billion of new liquidity across multiple networks on DevNet. But that's just the beginning. With networks like Ondo issuing tokenized treasury bills on XRP Ledger, this is all about to create a snowball effect. Why? Because there is a powerful feedback loop. And so I'll just pause a note here. This is one of those things, and I remember Chris Larson saying this, Ripple's one of the co-founders. Chris Larson was saying this like a decade ago. He's like, he said this literally, liquidity begets liquidity. It's that flywheel effect. And he's calling it here a feedback loop. It's the same concept here. The more stuff that happens, the more interest you get for people jumping on there, because that's a healthy and living chain at that point, right? And so here's how he views it, though. So he says, again, this is a powerful feedback loop. And he wrote, number one, off-chain, Ripple helps banks tokenize assets from traditional finance on XRP Ledger. And folks, that's why I said several minutes ago that remember what Ripple's been doing. What did they do a couple years ago? Medico, right? They bought the company, a company that specialized exactly in that, because they are going this route of real world assets. It's one more thing that they're doing because XRP is at the core of all of their thinking, effectively, right? It's at the core of their business model. And of course it is. Of course it is. Because Ripple has the most to lose out of any business or human on the entire planet because they have the largest XRP bags. It makes sense that they'd be doing everything they can to push for a healthy and prosperous XRP ecosystem. And so they are doing good things. So then the number 2, he says on-chain, Omni expands those tokenized assets across the on-chain economy. This incentivizes more institutions to tokenize assets on XRP. And that's what he's talking about. So this is unquestionably the future. And there are a number of reasons that this makes sense, but even if we're only for efficiency, that's still enough. You know, cutting out middlemen. So, of course, as you see more and more of this action pop up on the XRP ledger, and it's my pleasure to report on this, honestly, seeing this come, like this is real life now, after believing in 2017, and I wasn't the only one, but believing that stuff like this would happen on the XRP ledger, to see it increase to this level, like it's really a sight to behold. It really is. And it's only going to get bigger from here. So it's very clear that the world wants this. It's more so a question of where's most of this or big portions of this going to land. Well, why not the XRP ledger? It's totally plausible to think that there's a real good shot that there's going to be a substantial chunk of this in perpetuity on the XRP ledger. And that is great for XRP specifically, especially as more people jump into crypto. Think about how high the price of XRP has got. We just hit a new all-time high, right? And that's with like less than 1% of humans having ever bought XRP. What happens when not just more humans jump in, but some of those larger firms out there with deep pockets? What do you think happens as more and more money flows in? And so that's why, like, when people are making long-term predictions about XRP price and they get into like the 3-digit zone, I don't think that's crazy. I'm not making a price prediction, but if you're talking some point, certainly not this cycle. I don't believe for a moment you're going to see a $100 plus XRP this market cycle. And if I'm wrong, then I'll eat my words happily. That's fine. I'll be thrilled for everybody that's making life-changing wealth. But I don't believe it's happening this cycle. But if you're talking about, without specifying time, just understanding that this asset class, I mean, it's going to be over a $100 trillion asset class, and XRP is going to have a certain piece of the market. Well, yeah. I mean, if you're talking about triple-digit XRP, absolutely, because it doesn't take that much money flowing in to bid the price of XRP up. And so even if it takes some unknown number of cycles to get to that point, it can happen. And so again, to clarify, that's why this matters. It's another thing that isn't going to go away. It's just going to increase in terms of importance. So yes, and they're working on it. Like, this is getting built out right now. There's a firm that was tokenizing, I can't remember the firm, is it Archax? I think that was them, tokenizing, unless I'm, just Google this in case I'm wrong, but I think this is right. Archax, I believe that they were tokenizing the money market funds on the XRP ledger. So there's all sorts of examples of this stuff, real world examples. It's actually happening, and it's going to happen in countries the world over. It's the coolest damn thing. And so many of us in the community, I mean, people before I even knew XRP existed were talking about this, and they were right. And it's happening on the XRP ledger. Talk about fueling the growth of XRP in the XRP ledger. Hell yeah, absolutely. And so we'll see what that looks like, but JPMorgan, they obviously recognize this as well. And I'm not going to be brief on this, but it's just nice to even see headlines like this. But here, again, JPMorgan says XRP can attract $8 billion in inflows. Can it hit $8? And here they wrote, entering 2025, there were few cryptocurrencies that had the kind of potential that XRP had. The asset had struggled with years of legal battles against the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. However, that was set to change with the arrival of the first pro-crypto president in the country's history, Donald Trump. The continued overhaul of the nation's crypto policy has reignited hope for yet another crypto-based ETF in this country. Now, Ripple has emerged as a favorite with the race for the XRP ETF ongoing. If it is approved, one institution believes it could be a game changer. JPMorgan had said earlier this year that an XRP ETF could attract $8 billion in net inflows. So look, that might be just to start, but the cool thing about that is, like, if you're talking about 8 billion actual dollars flowing in, the price of XRP would be end up getting bid upward to some level beyond that. So I'm not going to make price predictions. I'm just saying that can make things go buck wild. Now, I don't believe that this particular bull run, that even if you get an XRP ETF approved during this bull run before we head into bear market territory, I don't know that you're going to have enough money flow in quickly enough to have it materially impact the price of XRP in any sort of important way. But I'm more excited for this over a span of many years and decades, because way more money will flow into XRP as a result of this. Because people that buy any XRP ETF, just remember, it will be backed by actual XRP. It will be. That's why this matters. It materially impacts the supply and demand dynamics of XRP. And so even JPMorgan's like, yep, boatload of money flowing in. So again, like I was saying at the start of the video, if you think XRP makes sense, take comfort in knowing you're not the only one. You're definitely not the only one. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because if anything I say are right. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.